First, the news that Senator John McCain has been diagnosed with brain cancer. The senator underwent a procedure last Friday actually, to remove a blood clot from above his left eye. It revealed that he has glioblastoma, an aggressive malignant brain tumor. According to the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix, the senator and his family are reviewing their treatment options right now, which could include chemotherapy and radiation. His doctors say the senator is recovering from surgery well, and his underlying health is said to be excellent. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, John McCain, obviously a giant in Washington, D.C., but he's been a giant in American life for a very long time, and he served his entire adult life for the United States people, of course, in Vietnam. And being a prisoner of war, someone who was allowed by the North Vietnamese to leave because his father was a powerful admiral in the U.S. Navy, but John McCain refused while he was being beaten, refused to leave and said he wasn't going to go until all of his men could come home with him. And he did come home physically broken, but I'll tell you what, mentally and spiritually tougher than ever. He's been a fighter his entire life. He was a fighter when he worked in the Reagan administration, when he was a House member, when he was a senator, when he ran for president, and especially now. And Mike Barnacle, I'm not so sure of all of the great work John McCain has done for this country. I'm not so sure that the most important work he's done hasn't been over the last 6 months, when he's been fighting to uphold the basic tenets of U.S. democracy, championing checks and balances, and making sure that Americans and senators reminded every day who our friends were and who our enemies were. And when I went to talk to him in February, he showed me pictures of dissidents that had been assassinated by Vladimir Putin, and said that we needed to remain vigilant in this country now more than ever. He is a voice that we desperately need in the Senate and this country now more than ever. And you've spent a lot of time talking to John McCain. Tell us your thoughts this morning, Mike.
Well, Joe, what you just were referring to is called character. And there's a lot less of character than there used to be in the United States Senate, probably in life itself. But John McCain has always symbolized character and honor. And I have been fortunate enough to have spent a lot of time with him over the course of the years. I have actually been to the Hanoi Hilton and stood in the small, sheltered 6x6 area where he spent 7 years as a prisoner of war that you just alluded to. My memories of covering politics and political campaigns stretches a long ways back, but it'd be hard to top the late fall, early winter of 1999-2000 in New Hampshire when John McCain was running in the presidential primary up there. He electrified audiences. He became a cult figure. It was the most open and honest campaign in terms of access to the candidate that I have ever encountered. And today, I think, as you said, and as Mika indicated, I mean, all of us, our thoughts and prayers are with him. He is an American nobleman. He is unlike anybody we have on the political scene.
And Mark Halperin, of course, a lot of people are retweeting the same video right now. And that's the video that reminds us of John McCain's character as a public figure when somebody started to question Barack Obama's patriotism and his faith in the 2008 campaign. John McCain went over and politely said, Barack Obama is a good man, he is a good husband, he is a good father. We just have different views of governing, and that's why I'm running. My God, what we would do to have a leader like that in the White House today.
All of us thinking about the senator and about his family, you know, it's pretty simple for me. Anyone who knows John McCain, anyone who's had the privilege of spending time with him, it's always found it to be one of the most enjoyable experiences you could have. He's a patriot. He's a great figure. He's a charismatic man. He's given his life to public service, and I have to say that as I suggested, and as Mike suggested, that campaign he waged in '99 and 2000 and fell short was really one of the most remarkable times I've spent covering anybody, and he has been a life force throughout his career. in showing Americans by example what it's like to be a patriot, what it's like to be someone who cares about the country and works hard. And again, we are all confident that if anyone could beat this really horrible disease, it's John McCain, because he is as tough as anyone I've ever met.
We're all praying.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.